Ready? This is Katie Hunter for MMA UK. I'm here with your winner, Will Currie. Will, making someone quit on the stool, that's like the epitome of imposing your will.
Well, they don't call me Will for nothing. I had him in a position where I was on his leg as well in the fight, and I was sort of knee barring his leg while I was in this position quite aggressively, sort of thing you wouldn't do in sparring.
Right.
And I heard a crunch, so it could also partly be I hurt his leg in the fight. But yeah, that's what I do. I impose my will.
I need to go back and watch that knee barring again, because there were a lot of elbows as well. His face was busted up. But I mean, this is a guy who's fought on contenders. Like, he's fought some serious opposition. So he's not going to do that lightly.
Well, he knew if he came out for round two, there was going to be more punishment, and I think he was immobilized with his leg. I think his face was all cut up, and I was only going to get started. But respect to him. He came, he fought, but I believe it's now time for me to go to the UFC where I belong.
Yeah, I think we've been saying that for a while. You've got 3 wins in a row, like all finishes first or second round.
Should be more if they gave me the Stanton decision, but the judges wanted to give him round 2. It's all a round 2 thing with Stanton, so you then go back further than that with me and Duncan. The first one was what it was. We had a rematch, great fight, he won. Fair play to Duncan, great fighters, doing really well in the UFC. But I've always shown up in a fight. I've never ever just been taken out. I've always given it my everything. I've fought to the death every fight I've ever been in there. Never quit, never surrender, and regardless of anything, that kind of mindset belongs in the UFC. Win, lose or draw, because we can all be beaten, but I have the mindset of a UFC fighter.
I think you always have. Since I first saw you fight on Rise of Champions, you've always had a really mature head on your shoulders. You've always had a real clear direction of where you're going, and not just a dream, but like a way to get there as well. Plan.
Yeah, I mean, I personally believe, me, Jordan Vucenic, we've had the hardest runs in Cage Warriors. If you look at the list of fights that we've had, he's been fighting Paul Hughes multiple times. I've been fighting Duncan multiple times. Fought Dario, Stanton, now Leon. I fought a lot of good guys.
Yeah.
And, I see other fighters get to the UFC a lot easier.
Yeah.
Cage Warriors, I'm grateful for it because it's given me my education in combat, but at the same time, what a run. How much does it need? How much does it need? Middleweight is a hard division. I look at other divisions. I don't think, I think it's rare to normally have a higher weight class be such a hard division. But, you compare welterweight to middleweight. Middleweight's much tougher in my opinion, and I've had to live in the I don't know what you call it. I've had to live in the dark side in the middleweight division in Cage Warriors. I mean, my first fight, Dario, second fight, Duncan. I've had war after war after war after war. And now I'm starting to finish these fights and show that it's not just a war. I can also take people out. And, that's a UFC fighter.
It is, but I actually think the fact that you've had these tough fights now is going to stand you in really good stead, because we see a lot of people who aren't tested until they get to the UFC, and then they struggle there. And I don't think you want to be, having those tests for the first time there.
Yes, I completely agree with you. And although I believe certain fights in the UFC are still easier fights than in Cage Warriors, and that's what's crazy. Cage Warriors it's going to be like this in the future. You know how you hear about people being a UFC fighter? Soon, as the sport of MMA keeps continuing to grow, you're going to hear people go, "Oh, you're a Cage Warriors fighter. Oh, really? You fight in Cage Warriors? Oh, the one with the yellow gloves. Oh, really?"
Yeah.
It's also going to turn out like that because this sport's going to continue to grow. People are going to continue to fall in love with it, and Cage Warriors isn't going anywhere. It's here to stay, and I'm very proud to be, in my opinion, one of the Cage Warriors fighters of this recent era, because I fought, this is my 11th fight in Cage Warriors. I'd love to call myself a Cage Warriors great, but that sounds a bit arrogant. But after my UFC career is done, I will be a Cage Warriors great.
Yeah.
And that's what people will call me, because, what I've done in Cage Warriors, not many people have done.
Will it bother you going to the UFC without winning the Cage Warriors belt?
It won't bother me, because I know I won against Stanton. And even if you want to say to me that, he won or I won, first of all, a finish is a finish. We all know that that's a real win. That's a real, yes, you can dominate a fight and dominate a decision, and that's also a win. But that was a fight which was back and forth. oh, fuck the 25-year-old, let's give it to this old man and give him the belt so his gym can have a belt in it. Nah, fuck that. I won round 2, I won round 1, I won round 5. I'm the champ. I beat Dario, I'm the champ. I belong in the UFC. I was fighting Duncan on my second fight. I've never turned down anyone. I fight 3-4 times a year without fail. I never pull out. I have injuries. I never pull out. I'm a champ. And even if you want to say to me, you know, Stanton won that fight, shut your mouth, what are you talking about? I don't care. It's all noise. I know. I tell myself what I want to tell myself. Yeah. And at the end of the day, to me, I am the champ in this division. You have to keep proving that. Rent is due every day. Yeah. But I'm always here fighting. I'm showing up 3-4 times a year without fail. And I'm always showing up. So the way I look at it, that's what a champ does. And
your mindset is so powerful, Will. It impresses me every time.
I lose. If I lose, I lose. It's a fight. I'll come back next time. Do you know what I'm saying? It is what it is. I'm a fighter. This is my job. I show up and I fight, and it is what it is. And I back myself because I know I work hard. I know my skills is good. And, you know, but I know I'm immortal as well. I know I'm human. I know I can be beaten. And it's just what it is. You've got to be confident but be humble. It's one of them weird ones.
Yeah. No, I get it. So the next call's got to be from the UFC.
I hope so. Otherwise, another 10 fights in Cage Warriors, yeah?
Well, your next camp be in Sweden. You mixed it up this time. You're out in All-Stars. Great training out there as well.
I'm a student of the world. First of all, me and Modestas and Gintas, we're cool. We're great. We are having no issues. It's just a case of I wanted to go to Sweden and get some new bodies in. Yeah. Simple as that. When I've been doing rounds with Modestas, at first it was like, wow, I'm leveling up so much. But then I felt I'm starting to stagnate because I'm only doing rounds with Modestas. I need to do rounds with this guy to get a more broad overview of the sport. So overall, Vajenic is looking good. Overall, I need different styles, and that's what Sweden gave me. It gave me all these different bodies. Rafael, he's going to be a future middleweight UFC champion, main sparring partner of Hamzat. Rafael Kveldstad. You have Matej Panaz, in my opinion, the best striker in the middleweight division. I'm serious. 85-inch reach, 84-inch reach, 6'5" middleweight. Monster. Really, really good rounds. He'll be one to look out for. Volkan Oezdemir kicking my ass. Anton Turkali, me and him had great rounds. I've been sparring a lot of hard rounds. I think it showed tonight.
Yeah, incredible, Will. I hope that you get that call from the UFC very soon. You certainly have earned it.
I hope so as well. And I promise you, if they do, they won't regret it.
Thanks, Will.